Hey guys, me Seren, back with another car video. So today is the other Wednesday. So today is actually Hidden Figures Day. So I guess you guys are gonna get 2 videos today, in addition to a video yesterday. But I just really wanted to make this video because, so the NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell, am I pronouncing that right? Massa, I guess we might as well call him. NFL Commissioner Massa made a rule today, like an actual fucking rule, that all players have to stand for the national anthem or else their teams will be fined. From what I read, they will not be fined individually, but the teams will be fined. Now, I'm not sure exactly 100% how that works, because I did see some people saying like how exactly will that work? Like, will it be like an individual fine? Like, if a team, if a team player decides like that they personally are not gonna fucking stand, are they gonna have to still pay the fine even though technically it was to the team? Like, I don't know how that exactly is gonna work, but the gist of it is that since Colin Kaepernick started fucking kneeling, that, what was that, 2 years ago, that now they've made it like an official rule in the NFL that you have to stand. Like, you have to stand for the national anthem. And there was like a whole statement released about how, they feel like the league, if you play for the league, like, you have to honor, and we all know that the NFL is like very close with like the military. They be showing like mad fucking army commercials and okay, people honking and doing like, mad partnerships with them and shit like that. So basically, Commissioner Massa is in league with the army and made a rule that you cannot kneel or do anything except stand during the national anthem. So, okay, a couple things. First of all, this gets back to the whole, like, in my first Colin Kaepernick video, I was like, I don't even understand why this is becoming such a big deal. People are like conflating the fuck out of what the issue is. Like, Colin Kaepernick is not kneeling because like he personally has an issue with like the flag. People try to make it about the flag, and you have to respect the flag, and you have to respect the veterans. Like, even in Commissioner Massa's statement, there was like all this emphasis on like respecting veterans and this and that, and it's like, well, number one, like, first of all, the issue was never about a flag. The issue was never about veterans. The issue was never about the army. The issue was never about any of that. They literally like conflated the issue to avoid talking about what Colin Kaepernick was talking about, which is, we live in a country that is rampant with racial injustice, that was literally founded on racial injustice. All this talk about life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Meanwhile, the motherfucking founding fathers are fucking slaveholders and are utilizing fucking slave labor to fucking build up, all these democratic buildings and shit like that, like fucking cognitive dissonance, okay? He's like, we live in a country where racial injustice runs rampant, and I cannot, in good conscience, stand for an anthem that is basically talking about, liberty and justice for all, when that is not the case. So essentially, it's like, once shit is equal in this country and there's no more racial injustice, I will be happy to stand for it. But like, until that day comes, I'm not gonna stand for it, because I feel like it's a lie, like it's a falsehood, and it's, like, it's not real. Like, none of this is what our country really is, so I'm not gonna stand for it. Like, I'm not gonna literally stand for it, and I'm not gonna motherfucking figuratively stand for it. And people just really turn that into some other shit to avoid dealing with what fucking Colin Kaepernick was saying. And I really feel like this was a long time coming, because even going back, well, I'm gonna go back, like, a lot of you guys are like newer, but even going back to when Tamir Rice was killed, the 12-year-old Tamir Rice, who was shot and killed within 2 seconds of police. They basically did a drive-by shooting of 12-year-old Tamir Rice, where he sat in a park with a toy. They didn't, and then they try to fucking lie and cover it up, but fucking cameras caught it. They try to say, oh, we got out of the car and we thought he was a grown man and we told him multiple times to put his toy BB gun down. Bullshit, because they literally shot and killed him in less than 2 seconds. Like, literally, it was like 1.25 seconds. Like, the cop jumped out of the moving fucking cop car like it was Grand Theft Auto and literally gunned a 12-year-old child down. So going back to when Tamir Rice got killed and the St. Louis Rams players, which they are not the St. Louis Rams anymore, they took the team away after this, and I 100% believe that the players, they came out with their hands up and the hands up, don't shoot motion, and a couple of them even had on shirts that said like justice for Tamir Rice, who was killed in Cleveland. So when they came out with their hands up, that was really, and then you had like other teams that did the same thing. Literally came out, they stood for it was literally like 5 seconds. They stood for like 5 seconds with their hands up in the hands up, don't shoot position. They had the shirts that said justice for Tamir Rice, and then they like went and played. Even going back to then, that was like when people really started like getting on this. Don't politicize football and don't politicize sports, and we don't want to see that. We don't want to see that, which is exactly the same thing with this Colin Kaepernick situation and the kneel. So like Colin Kaepernick did it, and then like a ton of other players started doing it. The funny thing is, Colin Kaepernick had been not kneeling. It didn't become had been not standing. It didn't become a thing until a white reporter, noticed, made a thing about it. Fucking Beast Mode. Why can't I think of Beast Mode's real name right now? Beast Mode. Y'all know who Beast Mode is. His name is just eluding me right now. I'm having literally like a mental moment, a fucking brain freeze. Oh my god. Beast Mode. You guys know Beast Mode. Beast Mode hasn't fucking, he went on the record as saying like, I don't stand for the national anthem ever. I haven't stood for the national anthem in years because I feel like that shit is fake. Like, it doesn't represent shit. And even if you like look at the words of the national anthem, there's a second verse to the national anthem which talks specifically about like owning slaves and like the whole thing is a sham. You have people that are like, listen, this shit is a sham. And we don't feel comfortable as fucking, especially as like black, Marshawn Lynch, Jesus. And we don't feel comfortable, especially as black players, standing for this. And you cannot make us. The funny thing about it, the irony about all these people saying, well, I don't want to see that. And why are they politicizing football? Why are they bringing politics into sports? Yada, yada, yada. The hilarious thing about that is that football has already been politicized. Why do I have to watch motherfucking army and military I don't watch football, but if I did, like, I have watched the Super Bowl and shit like that in the past. Like, I have caught games in the past. So it's like, why, if I want to watch if I want to watch football, I have to see all this army military shit and army military commercials and all this army military shit all over the fucking, in the little sidebars and dancing army logos and shit like that. That's political. Like, why is the motherfucking national anthem even played at sporting events? That is political right there. Like, the sports are already politicized. They're just politicized in a certain type of way that makes white people fucking feel safe and comfortable, that makes conservatives feel fucking safe and comfortable. And as soon as it is politicized, quote unquote, in a way that does not make them comfortable, now all of a sudden, oh, we're overly politicizing it, and we're overly doing this, and we're overly doing that, and it's a clear double standard. Like, it's a clear double standard. Again, when fucking it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month and they have the players, they wear pink socks and they wear pink ribbons and this and that, that's a statement. If any of you guys remember my very old video about Beyonce, before Beyonce started making like more overtly political statements, I remember one of the first things Beyonce did that was like political was she put feminism and like feminist in like 6 foot tall letters in the back of one of her like concerts. And I was like, listen, when people she said she was going vegan, shit like that. I was like, listen, when people ask you where do you stand on like black issues, again, this was like way back when, I was like, when people ask you where do you stand on black issues and you say, you know, you don't know or you don't want to make a statement because you're not political, but then you will put feminist in 6-foot-tall letters in the back of a concert. Putting 6-foot-tall letters proclaiming yourself as a feminist is a political statement, right? That's already a political statement. You're already making political statements when you talk about who run the world, girls. Like, I'm sorry, like, but people like to pick and choose what political statement they want to make based on what makes them feel comfortable. Beyonce has since said, which I talked about in my Beachella video, Beyonce has since came out publicly and said, well, I've gotten to a place in my career now where I feel comfortable making these, you know, these type of statements. So yes, I am going to make these political statements, and I'm not going to worry anymore about how it makes people feel. Colin Kaepernick has obviously reached a level in his career and also a level for himself, you know, personally in terms of morals and ethics, where he said, you know, I have to take a stand, basically, and I don't care how it makes people feel. Like, the sport is already politicized because we already have to fucking listen to a national anthem that I feel like is not real, like, in terms of what our country really represents. It's already political. Colin Kaepernick's not making it fucking political by fucking kneeling or taking a stand or doing or taking a seat or any, because at first he was sitting and then he changed it to kneeling. So it's like, this should already be political. This is like all the people that be like, y'all are the ones keeping racism alive by talking about it. Like, no, bitch, it's already there. It's already racist. Like, we're just pointing it out. And if us pointing it out is what fucking opened your eyes to it, bitch, congratulations, you living in the real world like the rest of us. But that doesn't mean it wasn't there and we're the ones that are somehow making it political. So it's just like extremely interesting, number one, to see. And now this is only going to make it even more politicized, because now you're forcing them to stand. So now it's just going to be even more politicized, right? Because every single time we see football players standing during the national anthem, we're gonna know that they're all being forced. We have no idea who really wants to stand or who really wants to kneel. And another thing is that I see a lot of people that are also saying, like, you know, well, this is a violation of their rights, you know, of their freedom of speech, which I agree, but I don't agree at the same time. Just like I've said before about, like, these platforms, just like I said in my why I'm not getting back on Twitter video, we use these platforms, and the platforms do have terms and conditions that we agree to. So, and the same could even be said now, in a way, does that mean we have to curb our speech to comply with the terms and conditions or leave the platform? Yes, Twitter. I'm not going to fucking go back on Twitter because they're going to try to curb what I can say on there. I have to agree to their terms and conditions to be on the platform. I don't want to do that. People say, like, oh, Colin Kaepernick should have a job right now. Obviously, Colin Kaepernick should have a job right now, but the fact that he doesn't have a job right now and he still hasn't backed down obviously shows that saying what he wants and doing what he wants and being true to his principles are more important to him than playing in the NFL, being on that platform. And that's kind of the trade-off that at a certain point, I guess, if you're going to do this type of work or these type of actions, that's the point that I guess we all get to at a certain point. Am I going to continue to use this platform, be it Twitter, be it the NFL, you know, be it whatever, where they want to try to curb my actions, my behavior, and my speech? Or am I going to do what I think is right and maybe not get picked up? Now, of course, obviously, that's easier for Colin Kaepernick, who's already a millionaire, who's already been playing in the NFL for however many years, obviously. But I do think, again, like, that's a trade-off. Like, you say whatever you want. They can't throw anybody in jail, obviously, which is also something that people get twisted about free speech. Free speech just means, like, you can't be arrested and thrown in jail, but it is like, well, you can still kneel or sit if you want. No one's gonna physically stop you, but you're gonna have to pay this fine. If you're gonna use our platform to kneel and make that quote unquote political statement, you're gonna have to pay this fine. So are you prepared to pay $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $25,000, $35,000? Are you prepared to pay that, you know, every single time so you can make that point, get your point across? That's also a personal choice that people are going to have to make as well. Because I also have seen people saying, like, well, the NFL is their workplace. Can you go into your workplace and say and do whatever you want at your workplace? Can you go in and curse your boss out and stuff like that? Like, no, you can't. Again, once you start getting to a certain point, these are just choices that you have to start making for yourself about what do I believe in and how important is it to me, and what am I willing to give up or pay, or what is the cost of these beliefs, and for me to stay true to these beliefs. And I'm not gonna say anything about what anybody has to do. Like I just said, Colin Kaepernick is in a certain point, you know, financially and even in terms of his fame and stuff like that, that he can do that. So I'm glad that he is doing it, because he can do it. Like, I'm in a certain point, which I've spoken about before. I don't have kids. I don't have a ton of expenses. So there's certain things that I can maybe do, for example, in terms of like supporting a Black-owned business that like maybe another person couldn't do. I can do that. Obviously, everybody has to do what's right for them and what works for them and what's actually feasible for them. But that's just like the way the cookie crumbles and the point that it gets to if you're going to be involved in these type of actions. But it's just really interesting that they really dead ass made a fucking rule. Like, they really made a rule. Like, so we're going to see how this plays out moving forward. So what do you guys think? Like I said, I guess we're getting 2 videos today. Oh gosh, so many videos. All right, food for thought as always. There will be links in the description box. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. See you guys next time. Peace.